When our next guest put her family home up on a popular vacation rental app, her sanctuary, her safe haven, quickly became her nightmare.
In October of 2020, I decided to list my home on a popular vacation spot. About 2 weeks into the rental, I noticed some Amazon charges beginning to show up on my personal account. The charges ranged from in the hundreds all the way up to the thousands.
Liddell received a delivery notification, so she sent me to the house to get the packages. As I got there were police officers everywhere. They said they needed access to the garage because there was a stolen vehicle in there. I did have a key to the front door. Once I opened the front door, that's when all hell broke loose.
The house was a total wreck. There were several printers where they were obviously printing checks. There was hundreds of IDs of other individuals. There was even $1 million check. There were weapons all over the house, including AK-47s and all kinds of handguns in the home. This whole incident happened in a high middle class neighborhood. It was horrible. Since this happened, I have not spent one night in that house. I just don't feel comfortable there anymore.
The whole irony of this situation is no one was arrested for identity theft. It was only for the stolen vehicle.
This was an obvious identity theft ring. It's not too far-fetched to believe that these people just left this location and just went and started up somewhere else.
Joining us from their home in San Antonio, Texas, which I should mention, we're being told is not the one that they rented out. Please welcome Liddell Robertson and her fiance, Tony Thomas. Thank you both. You know, it's amazing, Liddell, that you're able to smile given everything that you've been through. You are a former police detective. When you rented out the place, did I call it my spidey sense about people or about situations? Did anything go off? Any alarm bells go off for you?
No alarm bells went off, but we usually use a broker to rent out the property. So I did not actually meet the people who were renting the property. The broker did.
Tony, you took that video that we saw. You were walking through some of the things that were found hidden in the house. I mean, checks, $1 million check and IDs. What did you think that they were doing there?
We really didn't know, but after I found everything, I knew it was some type of identity ring. And not only that, there were also drugs found there also. There was drugs all over the whole place, in different rooms, different areas of the home, that I actually found and the police officer did not find. I actually found it.
Liddell, you said in that story that you've not spent a single night in your house since it happened. So I know that feeling. I remember getting robbed. I don't know how many years ago it's been now, but that sense of violation, that sense of your safety and security taken, and what do they know about you, has to just haunt you, as you pointed out.
Yes. I was so thrown aback. It was just unimaginable that this could happen. I thought that I would be able to go back into the home, so I actually cleaned out all the bed linen, threw out all the dishes, threw out all the towels in an attempt to get past this. But I just wasn't able to. So even after doing that, we hired someone to come in and professionally clean it. I still did not feel safe. And I learned that even though we had did all this and the police had made their arrest and was still investigating, the people were still passing by the home. They were still coming by there. So there was no way that I was...
What did they want? Why do you believe they were still coming by the home?
They were coming by there because they were claiming they wanted their stuff back. The stuff that was in the home that they were using to commit this crime, they were texting and calling saying they wanted it back. And so we had to continually tell them, we don't have your stuff. The police have your stuff.
Liddell, the financial part of this has affected you tremendously. As we keep saying, this is not a victimless crime.
It is not. Initially, when it happened, I had all these Amazon charges on my account. So this money to pay for these thousands of dollars came directly out of my account. And since I don't keep thousands of dollars in my bank account, it came out of my savings. So I had to go back and go to the bank and straighten this out.
Mm.
And it took weeks. So I was out financially for weeks out of this money trying to get this straight in my account. I also had to go to each of the 6 banks where they open checking and savings accounts in my name, and straighten it out because they had money that had come out of those banks in my name. So I had to go to these banks and present to them the police
Right.
reports and all the information so that they could clear my name off of owing them this money for these
Do you
accounts.
know how they got your information to be able to access your Amazon and be able to falsify an identity to open those bank accounts?
Well, being that this was my home, I had personal information there that I kept in a locked area. And I had rented the property in the past on several occasions, and never had any issues. So I felt like putting it in this locked area, I would be okay. But they kicked the door in that locked area. And so then they had access to a lot of my
It was
personal
like a buffet
information.
of all your personal information, and they just had
It
at it.
was.
Tony, no one was charged with identity theft. How is that possible?
That was really strange because with all the credit cards, the items that were there, they didn't take them down for any type of identity theft ring. They took them down for one gentleman had drugs in his pocket, which I don't know if they're showing the picture, but one gentleman had some drugs in his pocket. They took him for that. But as far as the identity theft, they actually got out the next day.
Liddell, you're a former detective. A lot of victims I've spoken with have felt that the system and the laws fail victims of identity theft, that the laws we have aren't up to speed to deal with this. You've been on both sides now, a law enforcement person and now a victim. You're nodding your head. You clearly agree.
Yes, I do agree. The law has not caught up with this crime yet. I was told by the detective actually working on the case that it's so hard to prove. Banks make it really easy to open accounts in other people's names.
Mm.
The person can do it online without ever showing their face. And so that makes it easy for a criminal to open an account as long as they have your personal information.
Wow.
They can do that.
Mm. Well, it is an incredible story. I know you are still suffering and trying to fix this or repair something you didn't even do. So we
Yes.
appreciate you coming on while still dealing with all of this. Tony, thank you as well for your time.